Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, for the penultimate podcast of the season. We got lots to talk about, or not, but suffering is finally over, or almost over. That and much more in another night, another podcast.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero o manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio e assustá-los, pá! É isso que eu quero!
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I said who I would like.
What's going on, everybody? Cristiano would like, we're not talking about coaches, obviously, but maybe we should be talking about coaches. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Doll Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças, with you sometimes on Tuesdays, sometimes on Wednesdays, sometimes whenever we feel like it, which is kind of like when, like Benfica. They play whenever they feel like. With me, as always, Cristiano Ronaldo. Foda-se, está tudo fodido hoje, caralho. Está tudo fodido.
Yeah, listen, hola to all the Freddies. What's going on, Alfredo, Dave? Glad to be back here to talk with you guys once again, which is the only positive is that we're back together after being inconsistent last month or so. We apologize, but trust me, we'll try to do better. We'll have one of these meetings in the off season, and we'll get the boys together, go over our schedule, try to hammer everything out. But before that, Alfredo, I mean, put them on the deals, bro. You got to tell me, Dave, we're going live. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, yo,
I know.
Gotta give
I
us
figured today we
change.
change it up a little bit. We just surprise and give people a little bit of an insight of what we talk about before we actually go live.
This is the stuff that we put behind the paywall on Cristiano's OnlyFans and Patreon.
The pay window, right?
I was just getting ready to talk about Cavani's next team. You know what I mean? A good thing because I would let that out. I would let the cat out the bag. So
holy smokes, Dave De Oliveira is also here. What's happening, Dave?
What's going on? I thought we were gonna take another week off. I'm liking these. Come do podcast 1 week, take a vacation the other week, and
hey, that's you. I've been here every week, bro.
That's what I mean. But we're here.
Dave, I ain't gonna lie. I thought I dodged the bullet yesterday, Dave.
I thought so too, but
and then when he calls me, he's like, "Yeah, podcast tonight." I was like, "What tonight? Like tonight? Benfica."
Just a series.
We're all in it together.
Yeah, just a series of unfortunate events that kind of we couldn't do it on Tuesday. Then yesterday I had some work function that spilled over past 9 o'clock, and then today I was like, all right, let's do it today. Let's give the people a podcast. The people demand a podcast.
I had two people asking me yesterday.
You guys are gonna record?
Chris, you don't do a podcast? I said, man, nah. I don't want to do that shit. I was like, nah, we don't. I forget it.
Nah, we got this one.
Here I am, 24 hours later.
Yeah, we got this one, and then we got the most anticipated podcast of the season, which you guys know which one it is. Buy, Keep, Sell segment. That's going to be next week, so don't miss that out.
No, next week won't be the coverage of the Taça? Or we're just going to ignore that?
No, coverage of the Taça, and then we blend that right in. Might as well go away. We got to get prepared for Miami, Chris.
I wish I could say the same.
Let me say hi to the Freddies: Flavio Ferreira, Diogo Reis, Logan Muniz, Boris Negarrosa, who else? Del Tasca, Bruno Gil Rodrigues, Manuel da Cunha, Manny Valadão, and everyone else that's going to join us a little later. Welcome, Freddies. Thank you for joining us for another therapy session. We're here. We have the Braga game to recap, and we have to look ahead to the Taça de Portugal. Maybe we'll split it with Sporting. Sporting gets the title, and we get the Taça. Usually, sometimes
Alfredo, do you know what Braga means in Spanish?
Cuecas.
Means cuecas, and that's the type of performance Benfica para cuecas todas rotas.
Borraram
You know
as
what I mean?
cuecas todas.
Todas, bro. Todas. Ay, Jesus.
Bro, yeah, let's get right into it. I know Dave is anxious. He's chomping at the bit to talk. Dave always does a lot of talking.
I'll tell you, after last week's performance, right, I think it's the only time in my life that I was actually happy that Sporting won.
Oh, fuck.
I was actually happy that Sporting won because that Sporting tied or lost that game. And Benfica's performance, we would have lost the championship on that. I would have been furious. So you know what? I was relieved when Sporting won. Yeah. You, Dave?
I mean, like I said, it didn't come right to the end, so I was glad in that way. If they were going to win, don't take us along right to the end and break our hearts that way. But our Benfica didn't even show up. So yeah, like I have to agree with you there, Chris, because it didn't even. We still didn't do our end of hold our end of the bargain.
Yeah. Could you imagine they tie and we put up the performance that we did? Could you imagine our reaction right now? Could you imagine the Benfica world's reaction? So like by them winning, it actually like relieved some of that nonsense and you know, and all these extra emotions that we would have had. You know what I mean? Because obviously going into that game, as you said, Dave, you were hoping it was like, all right, put it to bed early, whatever. But going into that game, say what you want. All of us in the back of our mind, no matter how many times we'd say, there's no way. There's no way. We always have that inkling of hope in the back of your mind, like, please, man, please, you know, God, please line all up today, please. You know what I mean? And so,
but Chris, you were the most convinced that it wasn't going to happen. Me and Dave held out a little bit of hope.
I know, but deep down inside, like, bro, I've never wanted to be wrong so bad. Like, trust, I wanted to come on here. Well, not today, Tuesday, right? Would have been Tuesday. I wanted to come on here Tuesday, like, happy as hell, eating crow and ecstatic. I mean, you know, so unfortunately that wasn't the case. But yeah, man, no, it just that performance.
Yeah,
that performance. I mean, that goes down as one of the very worst efforts we've seen in a long time. And then we've had over the last few years, we've had plenty of those. Yeah. So for this one to mark you, man, it goes to show you how bad a shit show must have been.
Yeah, let me just say something before we start getting into the game. You guys are going down to Miami, just hit me up. I'd love to grab a drink or hang out somewhere in Miami. It would be nice. It'd be nice, especially warm weather, cold drinks. It would be good. Hit me up. Twitter, I guess, Benfica Podcast, or Instagram, or Gmail, whatever. Benfica Podcast at Gmail. Hit me up, man. I'd love to meet some of you guys. And also, from what I'm hearing, the tickets are gonna go down. I think that the Boca game might be already sold out, but they were struggling to sell tickets from what I hear because they put them up so high to begin with. But yeah, if you guys are gonna go down, I won't be in Charlotte. Well, up until this point, but if you guys are going down to Miami, man, hit me up, man. Would love to meet some of you guys, even if it's for like a taco truck or something like that. I'd love to meet some of you guys. Anyway, right into the Braga game, if we must, obviously. Benfica lined up with Ruben, Araújo, Silva, Otamendi and Carreras, Barreiro, Tino Kokshu, Artur Koglu, Sheldrup, and Pavlidis up top. Oshnes couldn't play. I don't think he's going to be available for the Portuguese Cup, is he, Dave? I think he's
no, but Renato will.
Renato will? Oh, thank God. Can't wait for that.
Just in time.
Hey, man, shows up for the last game of the year. Yeah. That's what's up.
Brunjil Rodrigues says for Orlando, still a lot of tickets.
Yeah, no shit. Auckland City. I told you then, I'll tell you again, they'll be lucky to get 12,000 in the building. Especially, look, Orlando, 12 p.m. That is 110 degrees. Auckland City, combine all that together. That's a recipe for 10 people. I mean 10 people, Jesus Christ. 10,000 people. Sorry. Yeah. And that's already a great draw. 10,000 people.
Brunjil Rodrigues says for the Orlando, still a lot of tickets. Amancio Cordeiro, hey guys, first time ever commenting. Love listening to you guys. Hope Benfica wins this Saturday. So do we, Amancio. So do
Amancio,
we.
eu amo Amancio.
Amancio. No, man.
My
Good, man. Thanks
Appreciate the love.
thanks for commenting, man. We appreciate. We know that there's a lot of guys that watch the video and don't interact in the chat, and that's quite all right. That's quite all right. But yeah,
if you don't want to comment in the chat, you could always go donate on my OnlyFans page. You know what I mean? Feel comfortable.
Shit.
I'm just saying. Bro.
Yeah, but anyway, so here's the thing, man. I won't even. I don't think I need to talk a lot about this game, but I just think that the whole shitty approach by Benfica to this game, understanding that it's a game that if you score early, you send a message to Lisbon, right? There's a little bit of Sporting went down to the wire with this game, didn't score till late. But you come into this game with the attitude, with the belief that you could still win this championship, regardless of whether the odds are stacked up against you or not. And you send the message. You send the message right away. You score 1, you score 2. And you really bring the pressure down to Lisbon. But that wasn't the case. It's like the team had already resigned themselves that they had lost this championship and just didn't. I don't know if they didn't have gas, if it didn't have motivation. I mean, certainly from the stands in the section where Benfica fans were, they're very audible.
They
support.
tell us, the fans, believe until the end, but
Yeah.
they stopped believing the minute the whistle went off and they started to lose the week before.
Yeah. We get that penalty called against us, which I don't know. So many calls that this year were given that makes me scratch my head. I mean, both players were looking at the ball, and it just so happens that they tangled feet. The ref called it. And then
he let a penalty for it. Para mim é penalty.
For you, yeah.
Para mim é penalty.
I mean, they're
you
just
have to.
looking
I mean,
at the
guys,
ball.
listen. If we're gonna start not calling penalties or fouls because of intent, then esquece that. You know what I mean? I don't think there was any intent behind it, but did he step on him? Did he prohibit him from getting to the ball? Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you have to call that. Think about if it was the other way around.
Yeah.
And Pavlidis gets stepped on. What would you be saying? That's a penalty. So, I mean, come on. You gotta call a spade a spade. Was it intentional? No, it was not. Did it interfere with the player getting to? Absolutely. So, I mean, you have to blow that. There's plenty of fouls. And I mean, you're a referee in the middle of the park and stuff that are not. There's no intent behind it. But unfortunately, hey man, you gotta blow the whistle.
Yeah.
And so for any Benfiquista that's coming out, that's not a penalty. I'm sorry, I totally disagree. I disagreed on Saturday. I was on Twitter.
It could have gone either way.
I don't. To me, look, it's a step. It's a clear step on his ankle, his Achilles, whatever you want to call it. It's to me, there is absolutely no doubt. Now, I understand the argument on the other side that that's happened to Benfica plenty of times in the box, and it's been let go. And again, just because different referees apply different, whatever the hell we want to call it, rules or
criteria.
What there it is. That's the criteria. Whatever criteria, I should say. These referees all want to apply to let Benfica either not get the benefit of a call or to hurt them. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, just because you had a bad call or you missed a call in a previous game should not mean you miss a call now. That is a clear penalty, in my opinion. And it's sad that the other penalties didn't go Benfica's favor when it did happen against Benfica. I remember Antonio Silva and whatever got stepped on.
Well,
but that's because the referees. Yeah, exactly. Plenty of guys. But that does not disqualify this from being a penalty, though, Alfredo. You know what I mean? So he steps on him.
I get it. But if it didn't get called, that would have been okay also because both players are not even looking at, they're looking at the ball.
You're Benfica. You would have been okay with it. If you ask a Braga fan, they wouldn't have been okay with it. And then the opposite side, if it doesn't get called for Benfica, a Braga fan is going to tell you, but you got to take your fandom out of it. You as a referee, Alfredo, you know what I mean? You got to make that judgment call on the spot. That's a penalty.
I get it. Well, you didn't make the judgment call. He went to VAR.
Fine.
Because he didn't call it.
He missed the step. That's fine. He missed it. It wasn't easy for him to see.
I agree.
And that's acceptable. And that's exactly why VAR is there. The problem is the criteria. The question is, why was it called in? And rightfully so, right? It was rightfully called. but why weren't other plays called? In other games and whatever. And so that's the problem that you get with the video referees, with the VAR referees and stuff like that, is that the criteria switches depending on whatever interest you have, that rooting interest you have in that game. So it's pathetic, but that doesn't mean it was the wrong call.
Right. Yeah. And so extremely poor first half, and like we mentioned, the fans believed, but the team didn't believe, and they always want us to believe. But yeah, second half, more the same. There was some substitutions. Di Maria came in for Sheldrup. Ruma came in for Turkoglu. Then we had Belotti come in for Tino. Pavlidis finally got the equalizer in the 63rd minute, but by then it was, the team wasn't doing much more after that. Red card for Moutinho in the 66th minute. But yeah, it was just one of those games, sufferable.
The team, and again, this is not this past weekend's theory. This is not the theory theme. This is what we've seen for years now. Go back to the Supertaça against Porto. Porto gets a red card. Benfica looks like they're the team with the, playing down a man. Benfica does not play well against a team that's down a man. I don't know. I felt like, okay, we leveled the score. Here we are. We 1-1, up a man. Like, there's no way we're not going to win this game. And it's like, okay, yeah, we've done enough. We're good. We don't want to get on top of this team and pressure and overturn the score and come away. It just seemed like the team gave up with that red card. I don't know. The effort went out the way. There was already very little effort.
Yeah.
But after that red card, it was like, okay, now
even less
no
effort.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Out the door.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
even less effort. Yeah, but like I said, I think you could have sent the message down to Lisbon. And I was talking to Dave a little before you came on, Chris, that they definitely celebrated Braga's goal at the Alvalade, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They gave them, by Benfica not coming out and taking the early lead, which they had two occasions, okay? One was Pavlidis. That was the second occasion. There was another occasion by Barreiro that he shot it wide.
Barreiro in the fifth, sixth minute.
Yeah. Had Benfica scored that early, now the pressure mounts at Alvalade. But Benfica did not score. And in Portuguese, there's a saying, you know very well what it is. I'm about to say it in Portuguese, and we've used it here on this podcast year after year, unfortunately, way too many times. But the saying is, quem não marca sofre.
Yeah.
Benfica doesn't score. Braga comes out to the other end. Call it what you want to call it, penalty, whatever it is, what it is. They score. Now, what that does for Sporting and their fans, and particularly the players, more important than fans, it allows them to breathe. And you know what? Now they got margin for error.
Yeah.
Okay? And they just relaxed. And Benfica never really put them under any types of pressure. And would it have changed things? Maybe it would have. Maybe it would not. But you know what? As a Benfica fan, I sure as hell would have loved to see Sporting react under pressure. You know what I mean? To see if they could deal with it or not. But Benfica gave them the day off. So, you know what? Benfica, at the end of the day, took care of Sporting on Saturday. Hopefully come this Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is, they won't do the same. And we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah. But yeah, sufferable game, as I mentioned. But it is what it is. I think there's been plenty of times this season where we had a chance to take control of our destiny and we didn't, or do our part at least, and we haven't. And when you don't, those are the things that you open yourself for. So,
and let me just read something to you guys.
Read it.
Okay,
read it.
This is not on my OnlyFans, by the way. This is not OnlyFans. This is my Twitter DMs. Okay, a listener of ours.
Can you say his name?
Who
is it? Hugo?
Jeff. I'll just leave it at Jeff because I don't know if he'll want me to whatever, say his name. But he basically he went out to Braga, him and his wife, wearing their Benfica colors and whatnot, and went to the stadium, bought tickets last second apparently. I forgot he bought tickets. I don't know if he bought them. I don't remember now. But we exchanged messages for a while, so I'm trying to get to the messages. But he says they were sitting in the Braga section. We're welcome to the place. We'll be full, yeah, neutral colors cheering were pretty obvious, so it felt like we were going to be really scrutinized. He says Pavlidis scored, and we all sort of looked at each other, not so much as a fist pump or more than a smile. Two drunk Braga women start fighting in the stands.
Well,
And
that's
let me see. I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get. He says that a Benfica fan in that section. I'm trying to find that message. He was just humming along, not singing, not just humming along to the Benfica crowd, right? The Benfica fans, and he was kicked out of the stadium for that. His wife had to take off her gear and like hide it inside her jacket. It's absolutely pathetic that this goes on in Portuguese football. This whole stuff of making fans take off their colors and whatnot. Listen, it's a sporting event. In the United States,
Yeah.
you see Giants, Eagles fans absolutely despise each other, sitting side by side. It is what it is. You know what? Be respectful to one another. It's a sporting. I understand you not sitting at Benfiquista in the Braga clock. Okay, that or a Braga and a Benfiquista clock. Yeah, absolutely. Totally understand that. Okay? Because now you're asking for trouble. But throughout the rest of the stadium, what's I mean, what it is? What's the problem? I paid my hard-earned money to get into your venue. I should be able to wear whatever I want. As long as I'm not being disrespectful, even if I am wearing a shirt with a middle finger, big giant middle finger up to everybody. It is what it is. I paid my entry fee. But it's absolutely pathetic that this has gone on in Portuguese football for way too long. If you don't want Benfica fans in the building, just you know what? Don't sell tickets. Play to an empty stadium.
yeah.
Okay.
Considering that for a lot, and maybe not Braga.
He says got in, but had to roll up my scarves and my jacket and wear a t-shirt instead. Wife turned her shirt around, which is red. I mean, it's pathetic that women have to go through this, children have to go through this. People pay a lot of money to get into these games, and
Yep.
he traveled from the United States to watch this game.
Yep.
And they don't take any of that into consideration.
No.
Jeff happens to obviously have ties to Portuguese. There's a lot of people that aren't even Portuguese and they don't even know about these rules. And they get to these stadiums and they have to go through this. You and I years ago were at a Benfica away game early on in the season,
Boa Vista.
and there was a team. No, I don't. It was years ago, and there was a team of kids from London, like 9, 10-year-olds, and a lot of them had Benfica shirts, and they had to throw out the shirts while we were in the queue, while we were in line to get into the stadium, and you just see shirts on the floor, and these little 9, 10-year-olds are crying in tears. You've seen them, Alfredo, you and I.
Yeah.
And it's
remember.
absolutely pathetic that this shit has to happen.
Yeah.
It's bad enough that Portuguese citizen has to go through. But I imagine a little kid coming from England that has no freaking idea of this stupidity. And now he's having to take off his shirt. It's pathetic. So,
Yeah.
Portuguese authorities and Portuguese league and whatever, they have to do better. And so there's a lot that they have to do better in. I mean, just this weekend, Sporting celebrating a title and the cops shoot a rubber bullet into this guy's freaking face. He loses his eye. I mean, I think it's absolutely pathetic. And whether it's for Benfica fans,
Yeah.
Sporting fans, Porto fans, Braga fans, you'll be sent. It doesn't matter what fan. You're a Portuguese fan, in a soccer fan in Portugal, and you have to be ridiculed to this dumb shit that goes on up and down the country. I think it's about time that we take a step forward and we improve our civility and learn how to deal with sporting events and learn how to deal with one another.
Yeah. Diogo, well said, Chris. Diogo, I was at that game, the Musa game, Boa Vista, and that was a couple years ago, at the start of the season. And awful shit. And I saw people taking off their shirts or being made to take off their shirts, and just awful. And I think that the league needs to do something about that, right? Because if it's all about the attendance and the spectacle and just imagine, right? Because Portugal does attract a lot of tourists from the UK and from other places in Portugal, and obviously they want to go to Estádio Luz, but imagine they're in Braga and they decide to, hey, we're gonna go watch a Benfica game or Guimarães, and then they're made to go through this. It's awful. Like Chris said, you pay a ticket as long as you're respectful. I remember going to the Giant game and there was a guy with a Bengals Bengals jersey, and he sat there, and people were making jokes at him the whole time, but just being respectful, but just busting the guy's balls. But yeah, but there's, and I think that when you talk about sporting culture, and sporting events, I think that Portugal has a lot to Portugal, and there's still a lot of countries in Europe that go through the same thing. I don't think Portugal is an isolated case, but there has to be sporting culture. It's a game. I know that for some people it's more than a game, but you're going to be entertained. You're going to go have fun. You're going to go see your team play. And as long as you're being respectful, I don't think there should be a problem with that. But yet people turn it into something else. People turn it into hate. People turn it into racism and other things. And that's the culture that we have. It's a culture that is very antiquated, very old school, and I don't think it has any place in the modern game, especially these days. There's a lot of mixed folks from different countries and from different ethnicities and different beliefs. I think that everybody should get along, and you're there for the love of the game and to go to a game, and it shouldn't have to go through an experience like that, especially with little kids and wives. And I remember when I was a little kid that not a lot of women went to games. When I was in Portugal.
Alfredo, as I said, what image does that put out to the
shitty.
outsiders, to the foreigner? Again, it's not that the Portuguese people should be subjected to this, right? But now imagine, like I said, team of kids from London, right? Who have no idea about this bullshit that goes up and down, on up and down the country. Imagine that image that is telling people, don't come. Foreigners, they want people, Portugal's a country with a lot of tourists and whatever. They want people coming in. The Portuguese league, the revenue share is terrible. They want people to invest. It's telling the foreign, don't come. Don't even bother coming. Why would you want to come? I mean, it's absolutely crazy to me that this still is going on in 2025. It's fucking bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, the game was the game. Dave, you had any stats? Last game of the season, regular season?
We finished with the exact same points as we did last year. Conceded the same number of goals, but actually had scored more goals this year than we had last year at 84 compared to 77 last year. But same old as last year, same results, second place. One thing that, not to keep this game going here, but it's a sad state of affairs when our goalkeeper was our top player in this match, this do or die match, where we got to come up with a performance to have any possibility of winning a championship. And Trubin stood on his head. It was a 1-1 scoreline, but Braga easily could have had at least 4 or 5 really good goal scoring opportunities if he wasn't really on top of his game.
Yeah. Now we got the Portuguese Cup. That happens this Sunday, 5:15 local time at the beautiful complex of the Jamor, where usually the Portuguese Cup takes place. Lots of arguments in terms of whether Jamor has the conditions and so on and so forth.
They don't.
But it's an iconic.
Spoiler alert.
What's a spoiler alert? They don't?
They don't have the conditions. Spoiler alert. No time.
But yeah, Benfica and Sporting will play for the second most important title in Portugal, which is the Portuguese Cup. Sunday after the league is finished. Dave, you got any stats that you wanna throw out?
It'll be the 8th time that these two clubs meet in the finals of the Taça. First time since '96. and we've got their number in this tournament, at least the tournament finals. 6 wins and 2 defeats in Tasa finals
Against Sparta,
Sporting.
yeah. Wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
that stat. Look at that.
Yeah, phenomenal. Just like the stat, that Dave gave. And Dave, I'm
Phenomenal.
not getting on your case. You
The
just give the stats. Yeah, Inter Milan every time they make it, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, that worked out. That worked out. It's not your fault, Dave. The stats' fault. God.
Yeah, Dave. Come on, bro. You gotta.
Hey,
No.
I didn't put it out there. I only sent it to you guys. That was an exclusive.
Oh, you said it on the podcast, I think. But it's
no, I sent it to you guys after.
Did you? I don't know.
Afterwards, yeah.
But whatever. It's not your. Regardless, it's not you. If I'm just saying, the stat you gave, thank you very much, Dave. You take your time to go look for these stats, and we thank you. Trust me, I thank you for the Freddies. If they don't, I thank you for it. Okay, but yeah. Right now, I'm like, we don't want to hear none of them stats. Who cares this shit?
That stat alone gave you that glimmer of hope, wasn't it? Because before, when we were recording the podcast, you had no hope, and then I sent that to you after we started. We stopped.
No, but I had already heard of it though. I had already heard of that stat before.
There's always
'Cause
something like that comes out, or like every time a pope gets, they're looking for a pope. There's some kind of things, and the moon is a certain position, and Benfica wins every time.
There was that one for the longest time that anytime Pizzi scored, Benfica never lost.
Somebody died. No, the one that died was what's his name? Wilshire, I think, from Arsenal. Every time he scored, no, not Wilshire, the other guy, the Wales guy. Every time he scored a goal, remember the Wales? He went to Juventus. Oh my God, what's his name? He played at Arsenal. They went to Juventus.
I know.
My God, he's from Wales.
I know
The midfielder. I can't think of his name right now. Every time I think it was him. Every time he scored, somebody famous would die. You guys recall that?
Aaron Ramsey.
Aaron Ramsey. Yes.
Yeah.
Every time he scored, somebody famous would die. So like I remember,
the angel of death.
Yes, he was. Yeah, like 8 goals, 8 people died the next day. Crazy, absolutely crazy,
bro. But yeah, so my feelings in the Portuguese Cup, I think that I hope at least that Lage rallies the boys one last time to play for a little bit of pride.
I disagree with you, Alfredo.
You don't think he rallies?
No. But like, if Lage has to rally these guys, if he has to wake these guys up and motivate these guys to play a Taça final after the disastrous year they just had, losing to their cross-sign rivals, it's not Lage that must. The players must go. Okay. I mean, obviously, Lage should do his job, but it should take absolutely no motivation, no coaching, no nothing from any of these players to get up for a game like this.
Yeah. No, I understand. I just think that, from what I saw in Braga, I just feel that the team had called it in.
Yeah, the team went into that game already dejected. They were undefeated. But
this
is a Taça game. Okay? The results in previous games have nothing to do. This is a one-off. You have an opportunity today to win a title. You know very well the night before when you go to the Estádio at Seixal that you're going for your last Estádio of the season, and it's an opportunity to wipe the slate clean. You're going to, either win some of that, whatever that fandom back, win some of the excitement back from the fans, or you're just really gonna shit the bed. Right? You're either going to remember for being jackasses, or you're going to get some of the fans back on your side. And this is an opportunity, regardless of what happened last week, the week before, yada, 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 yada. What happened in December, what happened in October. This is a one-off opportunity to win a Connect. Okay? And players play to win championships. And, I mean, again, if I have to tell any player that there's a Connect on the line, bro, I honestly, I wouldn't even dress you. I would stay home.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even call you up.
Yeah, don't pull what's his name? Grimaldo. Remember towards the last game of the season, he said didn't want.
Yeah, but this is a Taça. I doubt Grimaldo would. I mean, you know me, I wasn't Grimaldo's biggest fan, but he never did it in a Taça game. This is, it's different playing. I think it was like Juby sent on the road.
Yeah, something like that. It was the last game of the season, and
and he's like play the young kids. Like, nobody pays you to make decisions. But yeah, this is a Taça game. I think every player, like I said, every player on this roster wants to play a game like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. It should motivate it, but I just hope that the team plays with a little chip on their shoulder. I'm thinking that they should have won this championship against Sporting. They sure had the fans behind them at Stade de Luge that game, and I think you need to play with a chip on your shoulder and really put out what you need to put out to win this game. Dave, what are your thoughts?
I hope they have a better performance than the women did this
Holy
past weekend
shit.
at the Jamor.
wait a minute. Wait, the women didn't put out?
No, sejas assim, Chris.
They
Operator,
didn't.
you the one saying they need to put. I'm saying the women didn't put out. They
Put
lost.
out a performance.
They did not get. They didn't bring home any trophies this past week, and they blew it. Conceded late to send the game into extra time, and then late into extra time they also conceded, and
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It was not good. So hopefully, at least one of the Benficas got that out of their system, and hopefully it was last weekend, and it's not a sign of
Yeah,
things.
the ladies lost
to
against
come here.
Torriense. That's who they lost the
Nah,
Portuguese Cup.
That's who they lost against?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even
Is
Braga
Torriense-
or Sporting or
Is the ladies Torriense team in the 5th division?
no, they're
Like
like,
the boys?
they're like
Oh, they're not?
Probably around top 5 in
Oh,
Portugal.
no, I'm sorry. That team was Tirsense. I'm sorry. Tirsense, Torriense.
Yeah.
You know who played at Torriense, Alfredo? You know who went to play at Torriense? Remember
Yeah.
my boy Salim?
Yep.
Salim signed for Porto, and Otavio Machado told him, yeah, listen, you need to go on loan, yada, yada, yada. So Pinto Costa signed him for the first squad, and he went on loan for 6 months, and then he got fired at the end of the year, and the new coach came in and didn't take him. So
Yeah.
sucks.
Red Baron, what's up? Red Baron, he's saying that Patão is coming to Boston. Yeah, I did read that today. That she's leaving Benfica to come to coach Boston.
Red Baron's on top of the ladies game. O gajo não falha nada, olha aí.
Yeah. What else? Boris having a lot of fun here in the chat today. We love Boris as always.
Who's BTG? He's just screaming at everybody.
he's got the cap locked.
BTG. About. Okay,
We can hear you, man. Turn off those.
You want to be
caps.
heard? No, I hear him. I don't read. I hear him.
Yeah. Yeah, but look, I think it's a tricky game, but like I said, I think that the team needs to play with a chip on their shoulder, and they need to win this one for the fans, because I think the support from the fans has been unconditional, right? I think that when you look at what happened with with Schmidt, that the fans were throwing shit at him, or were getting into it with them, and I think that one of the things that Lage was trying to do when he first came in was to get back, the fans' support, and I think he did that. And I think if there's one thing that the team can't complain about is support from the stands. Whatever they went, there was always support there. And I think that at least do it for the fans. I mean, if you have a little bit of pride. You want to do it for your pride because you lost the league. That's quite all right also. But I think we need that as fans. We need the Portuguese Cup, because I think just the Taça da Liga is a little bit too little for
club needs.
Yeah,
the club needs support. Alfredo, it's 4 Taças Portugal in 30 years, bro. It's pathetic. Pathetic.
Yeah.
Even Sporting's got more Taças Portugal than we do over 30 years.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, and you need some hardware. I mean, I wouldn't say that we'll have a chance to talk about and recap the season next week. But I mean, there's a lot of things obviously that were done okay. There was other things that were done really bad, and there's decisions that were made in the beginning of the season that should have been made. That I think everybody saw the way we were headed with Roger Schmidt's extension. Didn't turn out the way it did turn out. I mean, did Lage have enough time? Yeah, sure, he had enough time. On paper, we're also looking at our roster, and we have a deeper roster than any of the teams in the Portuguese league.
Yeah, but that doesn't serve you any come Sunday. You just need 14. That's it.
Right.
You don't need 22.
Right.
I mean, 14 with the throw up more because now they go to 5 subs. Now it's automatic 5 subs. But you know what I mean?
Deep, deep enough to have enough options.
I wish they'd go back to 3 subs. I really do wish they'd go back to 3. So I've never been a fan of 5 subs, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for another day. Cristiano Liborio, what's up, bro? He says, Sporting had 2 losses in Cup Finals this year. Como se diz, não há duas sem três. Okay, hey, I'm with you, brother. I'll sign up for it right now. BTG says, I'm pissed off. Sorry, guys. Salute. And then he starts in letras pequenas.
Dave, he said that I met you at the Benfica versus Porto Herrera goal. You recall? Dave?
Was it there or was it?
I mean, Dave, you know him as BTG? I mean, that's his name.
You're down with BTG?
So long ago.
Yeah, you know me.
I met a couple of people outside at the Mega Bar, so it's possible. There was people. I met people outside the Avala too. So
Dave, you're a popular guy, bro.
Dave,
people recognize you.
I go there and I get recognized. Nobody here.
People buy you drinks or no?
Yeah, they're at Mega Bar. There
Nice.
was people buying drinks.
And you're lucky guy. When I'm there, I just pay. That's fucked up.
When you go there, you have to pay for people.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. When I'm there, I just pay. He gets paid. They pay him. I just pay.
Yeah.
That's what Dave. Look at that stats. Dave. You knew who you're calling. With
you know why,
stats.
Chris? Because Dave doesn't talk, so he doesn't get on other people's skin. You get on the people's skin, people hate your guts.
Listen, I love them too.
Who doesn't love the good stats from Dave? Everybody loves good stats from Dave.
If they don't hate you, it's because you ain't doing anything. I just speak of the truth, bro. That's it. I speak of the truth. Simple as that.
Yo, bros, let's get out of here.
That's a great idea.
Next week, we will be back. Tell all your friends. Tell your cousins. Tell your vovó. We'll be back with the buy, keep, sell segment.
No, buy, keep, sell. Buy, keep, sell, ladies and gentlemen. You must tune in. Diogo saying 26 Freddy's. All right, we got to double this by next week. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's already too low because for the number of guys that download and stuff. I get it. A lot of you guys are busy. We respect and we thank you either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week should be a good one. I'll be nice and calm. I'll try to be nice and calm. I'll try to play nice.
Especially if we win.
Yes. If we win, we keep everybody.
Yeah, and like I said,
don't even do a podcast, guy. If we win, forget it. Buy, keep, sell, just buy. It'll just be buy and keep.
Dave, BTG is saying that you were with a Porto fan at that game. Is that true, bro?
I was.
Que merda é essa, pá?
Wait. At the Roulotte?
Yeah.
You were gonna get beat up. Was your boy or girl, whatever?
It was a boy. But he was smart enough. He didn't wear any gear. He wore
incognito.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Predictions for the Portuguese Cup, and then we go. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say Benfica 3-1. Dave?
2-0. Benfica.
Chris?
I'm gonna say 1-0. Di Maria.
It will be Di
You're
Maria's
romantic,
last.
He's not. I wouldn't start him, Dave. I would not start him.
It would be Di Maria's last game with the Benfica jersey, guys.
Well, it depends. He said this is his last game. Well, he said
in Portugal, at least.
Last game Campeonato, he said. I mean, let's not spin his words. He said it's the last game he'll play in Portugal, the Campeonato. So that means he still got the Taça and got the Club World Cup. Now, there's some news outlets in Portugal try to stir the pot, saying that he wasn't even going to be available for the Club World Cup. The team has since come out and said, yeah, Di Maria will be there. And technically, look, he's on the contract till June 30th. So, I mean, não quer dizer, paga.
Diogo Reis says 3-0 for Benfica. Midlife Crisis rants 3-1 for Benfica. Jason Gaidola 2-1. Benfica extra time. Del Tasca 2-1. I hope I will be there. Del Tasca says. Boris Negarrosa says 2-2 Benfica win on extra time. Chris Liborio, 3-1. Yeah.
I mean, you guys are all counting on Sporting being todos tortos from celebrating. Jeez, you guys are very optimistic.
BTG says, Alfredo, I'm a day one listener to the Doll Days. I'm Paul. Oh, fucking Paul Tomás, bro. What's up, bro? Estás a esconder, caralho. Yeah,
Hey,
Paul Tomás goes back a ways, man. Yeah, it's one of your original fans.
Dave, the real Tuga came out and started cursing and all. Hey, motherfucker, can I-
Yeah. All right. Guys, take care. Have a good one. Enjoy yourselves. We'll be back next week. And if you, later. Bye.